All right, so here we have classical conditioning. Classical conditioning was discovered by Pavlov, and Pavlov started off with using dogs. So there's a certain way that you actually go about figuring out how to classically condition, and that is by looking at the unconditioned stimulus and the unconditioned response. Now, this is what happens in nature. So, with Pavlov, the unconditioned stimulus that he used was food, right? He would place food in front of his dogs, and he noticed that then they would salivate, which is the unconditioned response. When the unconditioned dogs salivated, he knew that he could pair something with the food in order to produce salivation on demand. Now, another example of this is touching a burning stove. If you touch a burning stove, you will feel pain, right? So we learn important things through classical conditioning. Now, you can manipulate this if you add a conditioned stimulus. The conditioned stimulus plus the unconditioned response is going to lead plus the unconditioned stimulus is going to lead to the unconditioned response or the conditioned response. They're the same. So for Pavlov, he paired a bell with the presence of food to get his dog to salivate, right? And when he did this, he learned that he could then make the dog salivate just by ringing the bell. That's the conditioned stimulus leading to the conditioned response. There you go. Now, there are many other ways that you can achieve this, many other examples. My example was in my sophomore year of college. I had a roommate who absolutely loved to listen to Hakuna Matata as her alarm clock. Weird thing. Here's a little sun for Hakuna Matata. I hated this because her alarm clock went off earlier than mine. And so the alarm, which was Hakuna Matata, plus the unpleasantness of waking up, led me to be very cranky. Now, whenever I hear Hakuna Matata, I get cranky, which is my conditioned stimulus and conditioned response. So there you have it. That is classical conditioning.